Hello, folks. Welcome back, loyal subscribers, however many of you there are, and people just stopping by, watching the channel. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. We pick up another bowl victory against Oregon State. We pick up a Fiesta Bowl victory. I think that's our first time playing Oregon State. Maybe not in the Dynasty. We probably played them in the regular season, but I think it's our first bowl game against them. And I think that might be, I need to check the spreadsheet. Hold on, let me consult the spreadsheet here. That might be our first victory against or first victory in the Fiesta Bowl, and it is. So we're still picking up new things here, and look at this, bro. Contract extension. So we did not win the national title in this contract here. 10-year contract. Nuts, dude. They're going to extend me for another 2 years. Those stats you just can't deny. We're the Nick Saban of Northwestern, so they obviously want us to stay on. I could probably not even achieve those goals that they have set, and I'd probably still stay here since prestige has stayed the same. We just continue to win more than 10 or 11 games every single year. So it's another massive year for the Wildcats. We come up big and win the Fiesta Bowl, but unfortunately a loss late in the season to the Michigan Wolverines we normally don't have a problem with, but they tripped us up. It always just seems to be a random middling Big Ten team that manages to do it, or Wisconsin. This year it is Michigan who trips us up, and they get blown out in their bowl game against Vanderbilt. Jeez, have a 6-7 season. That is gross. Their last win in the regular season came to us. That got them to 6 wins, so they didn't win another game after that. Presumably they played about 3 more. So either way, we get tripped up by Michigan, and that keeps us out of the national title game, which was played between UAB and Oklahoma. So UAB, they've been loading up for the last couple of years, if you've been paying attention, and they finally get to the promised land to play Oklahoma, and it's actually a pretty close title game. So I mean, hey, it wasn't any slouch. They made it close, so I'll give them credit. But Oklahoma ultimately wins things, and UAB, they might not come back. They might not be back there. I really looked over the national title games to see like what teams like have been there and haven't really come back. I guess Louisville might be it, because Louisville was in 2 kind of earlier on when we started this. Their last one was 2010, and they haven't been back. And I don't think they've been that good either since then. But every other team that's been in it has kind of made a point to keep going back. Like even Colorado State, they've been in a couple. Like they've won 2. They've been to 2 and they won 2 in our dynasty. And Oregon State, who we just beat in the Fiesta Bowl, they were in the second one in the 2004 BCS title game, and they lost, and they have not been back. But they were good this year, so they finally came back to being good. But yeah, that was it. And this is Oklahoma's third national title victory in this dynasty. However, it is their 4, 5, 6. It is their 6th BCS title appearance. So they've won 3 and they've lost 3. So the last one they were in was the 2018 one when they lost to Colorado State, that gross one, if you remember that one. So fortunately, there's no Air Force to speak of. I'm sure they're probably in the top 5 or top 10, so we will see them somewhere. Yeah, so Oklahoma, the Sooners are your national champions. This is probably the good ending if you're a Sooners fan, to hear that they went to the title game 6 times over the course, from 2003 to 2021. They managed to go 6 times. That's pretty great, man. That puts them in that blue blood tier. They're officially the Blue Bloods. I think people in real life would probably still call Oklahoma Blue Bloods, even though they haven't really won much in terms of national titles. But, they've had some decent teams. I'm not going to throw shade at the Sooners. So looking over the stats yet again for like the 20th time, as we've done here. In the last episode, I really just kind of rambled, kind of gave updates on the channel here and kind of my aspirations as far as this series goes and the rest of the channel as a whole. I won't do that again in this episode, but just, as we reach ever so closely, I only have a few more episodes, I think, to record. I'm kind of gauntlet style recording them in this one session to see if I can see how far I can get along before we just kind of wrap things up. It's going to be really weird to wrap up this series. I already talked about in the Cardinals episode in the Super Bowl video, I kind of talked about how I kind of wanted to end the Cardinals series too, just because, it's the first series on the channel, you know what I mean? Like, there's not really a point to do it, to keep doing it. But, I've already gotten a little bit better at doing this. Just a little. Only incrementally. If I started off at a 1, I'm at like a 2.5 now. but yeah, so I thought about just ending that one too. But it's only been 2 seasons. I thought I'd at least give it 3, But losing a Super Bowl is a pretty good place to end something. But I said I wasn't going to do another update, and I'm already doing another channel update. So I'm sorry. But yeah, as I said in the last video, these videos have kind of just, I don't want to say repetitive, but like they are what they are. We're doing the same things here, just covering our bases here. So we'll look over the top 25 rankings. It's one of my favorite parts about these videos. So Colorado State comes in at 2, Ohio State's at 3 actually, which is interesting. Air Force is at 4. And then Nebraska rounds at the top 5. We move up to 7. Oregon State drops to 12th. North Texas at 14. Interesting. Miami again here at 15. Both Miami and Miami of Ohio sitting side by side. Interesting. USC moves up to 20 after not being ranked. And then Louisville also sneaks in. So we talked about Louisville for a second. Alabama also moves into the top 25 after not being ranked. So we talked about Louisville for a second. They were really good at the beginning of this dynasty, and they've kind of fallen off and not really gotten back. So as I was saying in the last video, Ohio State, when we did the season, we were simming through. They were the only team that could threaten the Big Ten from us since we lost a game, but since we beat Ohio State, we were fine. So everything's okay. The Big Ten's kind of, stacks up how it does. Michigan State has a terrible season. Indiana doesn't win a single conference game, so that puts them in last place as they are back to cellar dwelling yet again. I think they were 3-9 last year, and they got worse. Indiana sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why they suck as much as they do, but they do. They blow. They suck and blow. So we're going to move ahead now into our off-season, our 20th off-season probably, and just, cover all the bases like we like to do. And more juniors seem to want to keep leaving. I don't know why that. I mean, well, obviously it's because they want to go to the draft, even though this game doesn't really make a big point about that. I think the later NCAA game is like, oh, they want to go to the draft. But in this game, it's just like, oh, your junior wants to leave. Gee, I wonder why. Hubert Smith, I guess, thinks he can play on Sundays. Could have fooled me. But taking a look at recruiting here, more blue chips. Always get the blue chips. I wonder what percentage each year. Like, if I could calculate that, you know what I mean? Like, do we get, because there's, 100, the top 100 prospects. So what percentage of the top 100 do we get? Because we had we'll see here in a second when we go to the rankings of the top classes. We had 14, so we got 14% of the top 100 prospects. That's kind of nuts here. But we finally get up to number 1. Colorado State stays at 2. They finished 2 in the season. And they are 2 in recruiting. Ohio State's at 5, and Oregon State, who we beat in the Fiesta Bowl, is at 6. Miami's here again in the top 15. They're just kind of staying right there, like top 15 recruiting, top 15 in rankings. That's just kind of where they're firmly staying. Alabama is at 18. Remember, they came in at 25. And then Louisville is at 24, and then Rice rounds things out at 25. So they were 7-5, man. That's kind of brutal. Rice had like a year window where they were actually a decent team, and I guess it just fizzled out to nothing. They play in the WAC, which I wouldn't imagine is a tough conference in this game. So you'd think they'd be doing a little bit more, but UAB, nowhere to speak of. So I guess last year really was their year, unless they still have some of their decent pieces. But they've been trying for 3 years. So yeah, probably a lot of those guys that they got are probably graduating or leaving. So yeah, they might not be good. Just keep an eye on that. That's where we're at with this series, just kind of looking at other things in college football. It's kind of just become an experiment. Hey, what if we sim for 20 years and just see what happens? But obviously, we're still looking into things here with Northwestern and seeing if we can win again, because the awkward thing, I guess, is once I won the second national title, once I beat Miami, it was kind of okay, I guess there's no point to the rest of the series, right? Okay, you won multiple, now what? And it's the fun thing was the gap of time, just to see if I could get to the present day, which at the time I finished recording these episodes, it was the present day. But now we have a whole season that I could have recorded extra, which is what I was trying to explain an episode or 2 ago. But that's essentially what we're doing here. So now it's how many can we get? 2 was fun, but can we get more? We already have 3. Can we get at least another one? Maybe another one, screw it. Can we get 5 national titles? I want to reach Saban numbers. Is that possible? Can I do that? But it's annoying how it's been inconsistent, and I guess that's on me, for not fielding a team that can get over those games in the schedule that always just seem to trip us up. Because, just when you think everything's great, there's a Michigan, there's a Wisconsin, there's a Penn State that just trips you up. So moving into the 2022 season here, presumably, I guess our last one, potentially our last season. Here is our out-of-conference schedule here. I probably should have done like a big, like, hey, man, we're playing all the old guys, all the old bowl games, Ole Miss and Oregon State, but nah, this is how it's going to look. So we come in ranked number 2 here, and our first game is at SMU. We've played in Dallas before, playing the Mustangs, and we beat the Mustangs pretty convincingly, 42-24, to pick up our first win on the season. And that sends us back to Evanston, Illinois to play Tulsa, who we put 69 points on. Our defense gives up 20, but it doesn't matter because we got 69 points. Nice. And then we play the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. They come to Evanston in Ryan's Field, and we blow them out. They get absolutely stunted on, 31-3, as we move to number 1 in the country, and then close out our out-of-conference schedule against the Sun Devils of Arizona State. And then we pick up another win against the number 4th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. We blow them out, 54-7. This is definitely our year. It's got to be our year, as we pick up another win against the Golden Gophers, because we do not lose to them. And then we play a winless Indiana. Normally it's 1 win. This year they are winless, and we continue that streak for them as they lose their first 7 games of the year, 50-7 to us. We pick up another very close victory against the Badgers. That game is always close. The Sim just knows that's the rivalry, I guess. But we managed to win it, so our Big Ten Conference champion odds are looking good. Even if we lost that game, they'd still look good because Wisconsin has already lost 3 games. We shut out Purdue. I don't know if we've done that before or in a long time. And then we pick up a big win over Penn State. We get a revenge on Michigan, who's actually having a decent year. They were 8-2 going into that game. Not ranked, though, which is weird. Why are they not ranked? And then we blow out Illinois, not like we normally do, but we do win pretty convincingly to have another perfect season. So we are definitely going to get another opportunity at a BCS title game. This is going to be our 4th one. It is our 3rd consecutive Big Ten championship victory, as we've won the conference for the 3rd straight year. It should be like the 4th or 5th, but thanks to Wisconsin beating us a couple years ago, that's not happening. But I'm still going to celebrate 3 consecutive Big Ten awards. We also get a Quarterback of the Year award, as again, I need to be keeping track of those, but it's been a while. We've lost track, but we're earning some more hardware, and that's going to be it for us. We don't get any Heisman votes, because why would we? And oh my God. All right, so we're going back to the Fiesta Bowl, and this time we are playing Air Force. So, again, just come back if you want to see another national title game between us and Air Force, because Air Force is always in it, baby. But we'll be back in the Fiesta Bowl.